You're still echoing though?
Yeah. I can barely hear it though. There's an orb.
Yeah. Do you know what we're talking about today?
I got so much to talk about.
It's not a quiz about Civil War, is it? Because I did take Civil War history in high school, but I don't remember much. What year was Gettysburg? 64?
I've been doing some light reading.
Okay.
I didn't read all these, but
In one night.
we had a library membership like 2 years ago, and I never really went on my own. I would just go with Amy. Now I was like, well, I kind of want to read about some of this stuff. So after I went to Port Hudson, I couldn't find a whole lot online. Yeah, it's
about that particular place.
Yeah, I found stuff in these books that like it's just I'm like, let me find out more about that. Like so, for example, Fort Butler, the Confederates stormed it during Port Hudson, and it was like complete disaster. The the guy going like the general leading the fight into Fort Butler didn't want to go. Sent a messenger back to be like, "Hey, are you sure?" To his commanding officer. Commanding officer's like, "Oh, if you're not sure, don't do it." Sends them back, and right before the messenger gets there, they storm the fort. And like half of them get stuck in a moat, and then like the other half of them just like never like they end up like throwing bricks at the fort to try to like just out of desperation. And so hey, cat. And like 300 Confederates got mowed down. Something like 40 Union troops were killed. But the messed up part was that at the end, the uh, the Union guy at the fort was like, "Nah, you can't even bury your dead." So they threw most of them into a mass grave.
Yeah.
At the site.
You know, it's a pity. I have a collection of books from the 1800s, and they're like one book's about that fucking big. By year, generals and officer correspondence, an actual account of the Civil War during the Civil War, which is very different than when you're looking at some after the fact. And it's kind of cool. I have that for like World War One as well. They're each year broken up, but they're amazing books.
They've got a few books like that.
These are very old books. Like this is 1800s when they were made. They were made during
like vintage.
Yeah, like gotta be careful when you open them. They're like over 150 years old.
That's awesome.
They're pretty cool. I'll show you sometime. It's very like there's a lot of information in there about stuff you just kind of forget about unless you're a Civil War historian. Obviously, you would know these things, but it's just cool to get the perspective of these certain men, like what you're talking about, like being open about what their engagements are and their contentions are and this and that. It's kind of cool.
I had this fucked up day on last Sunday before last, where we went to a women's basketball game at LSU. Had a bad feeling about it. Everything went wrong. Nothing like catastrophic, but just like I gotta get the cat out of here. Everything that we did was like, Amy lost her wallet, and you trying to be on a podcast, huh?
Kitty cat. Kitty cat.
Bye bye.
Oh no, I gotta go. That's why I shut my door, because my little kitty will come in here too.
She loves this room. Like she could be fast asleep, like another end of the house, and she'll hear the door open, and it's just she's coming. But and then I had a bunch of dreams, and it's communicating with this woman made an appearance in my dream who when she comes around, it's something important. She was like walking off into construction, to a construction zone.
Okay.
Which I figured out was like the next thing in my life. Like, what is the next thing?
That's under work.
I realize it's under construction. I can't see it yet. I can't access it yet. Yeah. But I was like, can you show me? Can you just show me? Mm-hmm. Maybe like a little sneak preview. And so then I watched your video the next night, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was the next night that you released the video that you did it the day before.
Yeah, right before I got sick.
Dove has seen beyond the veil and now doesn't want to do anything, right?
Yeah, like he's not. Yeah, yeah.
And Harrius is trying to like get him to like get off his ass, and
He's telling his story, and Dove is realizing that he has to do something instead of just watching. He has to participate. He has to get involved. Yeah.
you're like, so like there's a breaking point, and then that's what I asked the question about. Um, and then I get the dream of I'm in my bedroom, in my childhood bedroom, and I had a bunk bed. I can't get to the second bunk. I'm just
Interesting.
looking at it. I'm like, I really want to see what's on the second bunk. I really want to get up there, and I don't have a ladder. I have pieces of a ladder, and I have to
Okay.
put them together.
Gotcha.
So I have to basically meet the universe halfway.
Yeah. You got to get there.
I have to participate in something
Yeah.
um, in order to open opportunities and allow the universe to work in my favor, or to see what's it what the universe could hold for me, like in the future. And then, so then that next morning, after that dream and after your video, I ended up taking a job at the school where Amy works.
Oh, really?
There's a there's a teacher that's going out on maternity leave, so it'll just be like a 3 month gig,
I knew you should have went back. Yeah.
and it's eighth graders teaching science and social studies.
Really?
Which, if that was like Civil War, I'd be like, oh my god, but no, of course not. It's World War
Damn
II.
it.
Yeah, wrong war.
Interesting. I really feel like I've thought about this quite a bit actually, that I think there's something for you in teaching that is your that is something that you have to do. And I felt it. I'm like, and then when you said, "Well, I gotta walk away from it," I'm like, I know that feeling because I've walked away from the shit that I know I'm supposed to be doing, or at least feel like I should be doing. So I understood. And that's why I didn't push. I'm like, I'll let him walk his road, and that he'll find it. But yeah, I really think that you should be in that teaching sphere. I don't know exactly what, like, individualized teaching, but something where you're guiding people and helping them.
It's funny too because as I was reading these books, the Civil War, I had I thought about like maybe like writing like a story of a character
Oh,
and
that'd
like
be
having
cool.
that be the setting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And the whole setting was like that the character like didn't want to join the war or something, and like someone from one of the sides like comes and he's like, come on, like I need you out there, and like, nope, I'm not doing it, nope, I'm not doing it. And he keeps trying, and then something happens and he just goes and does it.
Oh,
Just like your boy, there's some parallels there with,
sitting on the fence. Yeah, like I don't wanna.
yeah,
I'm
sitting on the
scared.
throne, you could say.
Yeah, like it's because you're afraid. You're like, I don't know. Like I don't know what choice is right. I don't know how do I know what to do? It's that very Luke Skywalker moment. Like, how do I know the good from the bad? Like, what if I fuck up? That's scary, and it's something we all face in our lives. And to write a character like that, as you're saying, it sounds like kind of very slightly inspired by what I was saying, but mostly through the lens in which you're viewing the world and you're seeing it in the Civil War. That is a whole nother layer that you can explore that concept inside of, and it sounds like it's a really good idea. I really think you should do that.
Yeah.
Do you have any? By the way, I know you said on your mother's side, they immigrated here not that long ago. On your father's side, do you have anyone that might have been in the Civil War?
So I'm related to Philip Sheridan, who was
Oh,
a
okay.
Union general.
Yeah, Sheridan.
He was actually, from what I've read, he was very involved in the drive to right before the surrender at Appomattox Courthouse.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait a minute,
he's
Sheridan.
very much involved later in the war. But
Is he the redhead one?
hmm?
Is he the redheaded one? Is that
No, he was the
Sheridan?
short one.
Short one. I can't remember the name of that
Yeah,
redhead. That went down to the south and
he just
just
short, had a
burned.
mustache.
Okay.
Well, and the crazy fucking thing is, right? just to tie everything together. There's this writer, I don't know if you heard of him, Sherman Alexie.
Uh-uh.
He's a Native American. In my English course, I was teaching the high school. We had to read this excerpt from him, this little essay that he wrote about. He was grew up poor on the reservations and went around to schools later in his life after he became a successful writer and told kids, read books and just like
Expand.
keep reading, read books, don't care about what the other kids think, don't play stupid, that sort of thing. And so I ended up following him on Substack, like one of the first people I ended up following on there, just because I'm like, maybe something interesting will come up to where if I'm going to be teaching this guy stuff, maybe like a lot of people's stuff that you teach, they're dead. So you can't really um, get an insight to things. But I'm like, well, let me see if, post anything. And I ended up commenting on something that he had posted a few weeks ago. And he said how everybody needs to be careful. His sisters were harassed outside of a Walmart, and that ICE agents came up and questioned them. So I asked, were they harassed or questioned? And he gave me some meme back. It was like basically calling me a coward because I was anonymous at the time. Could you just answer the question? I'm not trying to like fuck with you, man. Like there's just questioned and harassing are two different things. Like I like to know what's going on specifically.
Right.
But then he didn't answer me after that. And so I'm like, whatever. Turns out, in a 1995 book by Sherman Alexie, like the bad guy is named Philip Sheridan.
Huh.
And he said it's directly inspired by Philip Sheridan because apparently he was involved in some wars with the Indians.
Right.
That's just weird, man.
Living in cycles. Yeah, man. Keeps coming back in new ways, resurfacing. I believe in that stuff. I believe that things resurface slightly different. I always say it in new clothes. That's what the example I give. Like it comes back, but it's wearing different clothes, or maybe in a slightly different way. But when you really start to really look at it, you're like, there's a similarity here. Like you mentioned with the Civil War, Walt Whitman. You were talking about the last episode,
Yeah.
like that kind of stuff. It comes back. It always does. That's the ancestors working through you.
This book here, this is probably my favorite one. I would recommend this book to anybody if you're interested in the war or not, just because it's written so well. 1861.
Huh.
Adam Goodhart.
Goodhart.
Let me see how much it.
Yeah.
I can't write in these, so I have to use stickies.
Ah,
but
yeah.
in between each chapter, what do you got there? Walt Whitman.
Walt Whitman. There you go.
Yeah.
Big buddy.
It all comes together.
It does. It's all cyclical, man. It really is. A lot of people don't want to believe it, and that's fine. You don't have to. This is not like believe it or not. But it's fucking happening. And it's sometimes when they talk about there's a lot of different things we've done in the past, augury and other crazy shit. But when you understand the modern term that would be Jungian would be synchronicity, when you understand the modern synchronicities, it's not like it's a cheat code. It's not like you can cheat life and fucking get yourself out of here. It's more of, it just allows you to understand the rules a little bit better. It allows you to see things in motion. You'll still get taken by surprise. You still won't know what to do with the information. Sometimes you'll have all what you just said and be like, okay, now what? And that should happen. And that's when you work with your ancestors, as some would say, or as you described her, this woman that comes to you, like you work with them. You just kind of say, okay, I need to do something here, and you're trying to show me, but it's still a little foggy. You have all the tools, like you have a Lego set, but you don't have the instructions right now. But you know what you gotta kind of build it. You just don't know what it is. And then that guide is kind of the person that helps you find through yourself, through your own psyche and consciousness, what it is that you're supposed to, whatever road it is.
Yeah, I used to think that synchronicities themselves were some sort of guide. Um,
Yeah.
if I see like 333, that means that I'm doing something right. No,
Yeah. Mine's 22.
because I'm pretty sure it's just a reminder, like, hey, remember, this is all, it's all part of the plan.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna show you something. Uh, thriftbooks.com. I won't be able to show you. It's the camera. That book you're just talking about, you can get a hardcover for $7.
There you go.
Thriftbooks.com, I recommend it. That way, if you do need a mark into it, and then if you become a
Yeah.
member, you can get books for free under $6. You get that for free.
No.
But anyway, I'll show you later.
This video is brought to you by
Thrift Books. Dude, I use it so much.
Should get some sponsors, man.
I know. One day. I will, man. I'll heavily sponsor them, dude. They're dope. It's like you build up, and it's not the greatest thing, but like when you buy enough books, it's like, oh, you get a free book, and as long as it's under $6, and boom, right there, like, okay, I'll get. And that's where I get the book that I'm like, I don't know about Sophocles, I'll just get that, or like, I don't know about this, I'll just get it. It's free anyway, so I didn't lose any money. Anyway,
I'm gonna send you two things here. That this is just last night. I was watching a video. Kind of connects everything that we've talked about on these podcasts. It's Carl Jung, who you were just speaking of. And it's kind of what I started to really realize I was looking for in my research.
That's insane. First man was moved to deed by unconscious factor. Did he begin to reflect about the deed? Arrive at them. He must have moved himself. That's interesting. Controlling seat. Yeah, it's all there.
You got some sort of radiator underneath the picture behind it? Because the original thing that hit me when I was at Port Hudson was like just the insane death toll, and even like the Confederates were living off of dead rats and mules at the end and dogs. The kids now, like, if they were like drafted into a war,
I know.
like A, they'd have to be drafted into it. B, like the second there was like people coming back like dead and bloodied, they'd be like, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
Like,
and already not a sense of there's no point to anything, and everything's so. Yeah, it would be very different.
Like, but what really drove people to to keep going with this kind of bloodshed going on?
Purpose.
When it's not for like, okay, we're not like defending our country, which you could say that the South sort of felt like they were.
Yeah.
But these people, they were your country until like a minute ago.
Yeah.
But it's not like like some like Japan is invading and we have to like fend them off.
Yeah, something other. Yeah.
So I was really interested in the motivation, because Fort Sumter happens, right? And nobody's killed except for two soldiers. The one is killed on the spot. The other one's wounded and then dies from his wounds.
I heard it the horse.
But that's
I heard it was just a horse that died.
No, in the actual battle.
Yeah.
The battle was just the Confederates shelling the side of the
all night.
The fort. There's like a mini siege for a few days.
Yeah.
And then they end up surrendering. The surrender was weird too, because there's a random dude that came on a boat. Like, told him that he talked to Beauregard and he should surrender.
Yeah.
And he didn't actually talk to Beauregard, but either way, they were going to surrender because they didn't have any food. And so Major Anderson was in charge of the fort and wanted a 100-gun salute before they switched the flag, before they took down the flag. And they say, okay, fine. Him and Beauregard were tight from West Point and everything.
Yeah, I was his teacher, I thought.
And so then they do the 100-gun salute, but it's only 50 guns, because in the 50th one, there's an explosion, and one of the Union troops is killed. So it's like it's so symbolic too. 'Cause what are the chances on the 50th one? And it's like half of them got done, and it's like half a nation is complete.
Yeah, man, interesting.
So they might have fudged the number on that, but
yeah, mythologize it.
But yeah, so it's like at that point you don't have any idea that this is going to be what it became.
Mm.
It was just kind of like Lincoln said we're going to protect the forts and the post offices, and that's as far as he would go constitutionally. So they're not really trying to get into a war, the Union, but then the South is like, well, we have to take that fort if we're our own country now. So they do. And then the biggest thing that caused the war really was after Fort Sumter. Lincoln calls for 75,000 troops for volunteers, and that's what brought upon the secession of Virginia and a few other states. And it's like it just kind of slowly escalated from there. By the time you get to 1863 and you're at Port Hudson and Vicksburg, it's just just massive bloodshed. Like,
oh my God, the death tolls in one battle sometimes is insane.
Yeah,
like Shiloh
like,
or
how did like.
How did
so with the
I was saying, like, are you trying to say how do people justify continuing this concept in their mind, individualized?
Yeah, like, well, how did people get so swept up in it that there was like, this is the only thing we can do? Just
it's like
start.
It's the
and
same.
It's not like that. Like it's not like overnight. Like, okay, well, tomorrow we're just gonna start killing.
No, but it's a gradual building of something. Upon individual events, sometimes battles, we got to get them back for that. But even before that, it's like it's all about propaganda. It's all about how you identify, your side, if you will. What does the Union stand for? Well, that's the Federation. That is the embodiment of the American ideal. That's what we're supposed to be. Progress, industrialization, and the North, and eventually the slavery thing kind of comes into hand, and we say about free men and all that. But that idea is what we're built around. We're fighting for this concept. Whereas the South is like, the original idea was state rights. And like, I don't need to obey blah, 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 because my state is X, Y, and Z. I owe my allegiance to my state. Not the country is something separate. And now we're getting ethereal. So it's like, but what about the little guy? What about the guys like us if we were sitting there in our youth going like, why are you here? It's like when I asked the guys, my two buddies, this is very different, but this is the closest thing I can come up with. The two guys that were Marines that I know, they went off. One fought in Afghanistan and one fought in Iraq. And I remember when we were younger, I said, why did you go? Just out of curiosity. Not that you should or shouldn't, but why'd you go? And the sentiment was basically because of like 9/11. It's like, well, I felt I had to do it and we had to get him back. You remember all this shit. You listen to Howard Stern back then and all this.
Stick a boot in your ass. It's the American way.
It's just, and that's all it was for young men. Like, what else does a young man need?
Yeah.
Do you need to give a young man anything else to go off of? No. So I think that has a lot to play with it. Like, hey man, you're doing good, unifying your country, or hey man, you're fighting off these fucking federals, and it's all about like keeping your family safe and your money and your wealth, which is in slavery. We got to keep that safe. So it's just idealisms, really. It seems to be. Like, I mean, I would love to get into accounts. I would love to break it down. What each individual soldier meant, that at least kept record of it. That'd be dope. But as far as I can guess, it would be that.
There was what I found interesting was there's a big sentiment, a major sentiment of the secessions was like, we fought the Revolutionary War not to live under a tyrannical government.
Yeah.
And here you are telling us what to do.
Very same thing.
We're in the same spot. So we're the true Americans. We're going to go off and have a revolution. A lot of them looked at it as a revolution.
I could totally see that. You're becoming the one thing we weren't supposed to. And
Yeah.
honestly, you can attach the federal, the federals or the union, you can attach them to capitalism, what would eventually lead to capitalism. Whereas,
Well, and also Christianity too.
yeah,
Both sides
Protestant,
were
talking about
Christian,
Protestants,
but
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and you had more Baptists in the South. But there were plenty of Union troops that, especially later on in the war, where it's like they were consider themselves like emancipators
right,
that were fighting to free the slaves.
yeah. And there were some people that didn't care
And
about that were in the union. They're
yeah,
like, I don't give a shit. Right?
yeah,
It's like anything. If me and you have to go to war and you're like, I think it's great because X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm just doing it so no one comes invades where I live, right? Like it doesn't. It's just
mhm.
why are you here? A lot of the times those guys were drafted. Sometimes they were volunteered, and it's like, what was your specific reasoning for joining and participating in this grand stage, this big play that's about to take place that has huge consequences and death? Why do you care that much to die for it? That I mean, everyone's got a different reason. Like, what would you die for compared to what I would? We might have some similarities, like our family members and stuff, but there might be something that I die for that you're just like, that's no, you should not die for that, dude, or whatever, vice versa.
And for every 10 troops, you had one deserter at least,
Right.
something like that on each side.
Yeah, the
Um,
reality sets in. They're like, I'm out of here, dude. Fuck this.
at Port Hudson, on the Union side, they were taking so many casualties that what uh what Nathaniel Banks, the general, started doing was he would have the artillery guys. He instructed them. They were behind the infantry,
Mm.
with the big guns, and told them fire grape shot, which is like
Yeah. Yep.
it explodes into little bits. Very deadly, actually.
It's pretty
Told them
fucking
to fire
scary.
that, and if they saw any troops trying to leave the ranks,
Yeah.
and that apparently decreased the number of
Yeah.
deserters.
Fucking 80 grape shots are just nasty fucking things, dude. It's like a fragmentation, just
Yeah.
like a shotgun, basically.
Um, yeah, just it gives you pause.
Yeah, it's you know,
I think the worst part is part of me was a little jealous. So I'm like, I wish I had something where I was like, I am this sure, you
really,
know,
yeah,
that
I can understand that.
like this thing, like this
So
is
much
worth everything,
I
you
will
know.
die for it. Yeah, I know. That's fascinating. That to me, it's fascinating that you can commit that hard to an idea, to which that idea becomes something like, no, this is not an idea. What are you talking about? This is, and whatever it is. It's really about this, and I'm willing to put my life on the line for this reason. And I honestly always see it as a separatist. I always see it as someone that's like, wow, that's pretty crazy that you think it matters that much. But I'm not taking away from someone that feels that way. It's very profound, and that's definitely going into the play, taking part in it, and understanding that you may die. You know what I mean? We're gonna die anyway, regardless if you sit on the fence like Dove, or if you fucking get in there like Harrius and live it. You're gonna die anyway. But I find that absolutely fascinating that someone would join a war. I'm flabbergasted by that. There's not one war that I would ever join. You know what I mean? Like when I think about it, I'm like, I don't fucking care that much. So to me, that's why I'm so flabbergasted by it.
Right now,
Right, right. Like
if
sitting
you
here, I know conceptually,
if somebody comes and like burns your town down, and you can clearly point and say it was these troops.
yeah,
Do you
exactly.
want to fight against those troops that just burned your house down?
But that doesn't exist as
No
we
reason.
understand it right
Took all your
now.
shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You
But
know.
we don't know that right now. We can only
But I'm
surmise that.
saying that's a reason why some people join
Right.
the war.
Yeah, of course.
A lot of that happened later in the war. But
Yeah, well, I know. I'm talking about conceptually the conflicts of history. World War II, World War One, Vietnam. Like I looked at those and thought, like, gives a fuck at the end of the day. But like, yeah, you're right. Like if we're talking about like for some fucking reason that shit just starts happening again in this country, like, well then that's a totally different thing. That's
yeah,
village kind of stuff. That's like I gotta protect this area because if we don't have crops, we're not making it through next winter, you know. And
Yeah.
we're talking about more human, you know, stuff that we forgot about. We don't deal with that anymore as Americans, as you know, generally, generally, I should say. There are outliers.
Well, now we don't deal with it that much.
Right, like nobody's coming into my little trailer park and just like, well, they burned most of it down and they took all the women as slaves and I was killed because I'm a man. Like that doesn't happen here, not yet. Not to say it will, but that's history always finds a way, man.
You usually just direct a natural disaster towards you, and then blame it on climate change.
Yeah, 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 man, it's pretty gnarly. I have a few on both sides of my family, more than a few. I have a decent amount of Civil War veterans.
Hmm.
You know, on my dad's side, they lived in Ohio, but they went and served for the South. It's interesting, and he was part of his cavalry. I forgot his name. It was like something Baker, but he was like this scouting party, and like there's this crazy records of it, and it was weird.
Hmm.
And then on my mother's side, his name was Horace, and then I had Elijah and a couple others. They were in the Civil War, and they were in key battles like Gettysburg, and they were in Antietam, and like actually where they got wounded, and there's records of where they were wounded at. It's so weird. I had a Civil War relative. His name was Elijah Cole, and in Gettysburg, there's a movement where the Union troops are moving through the cornfield. Well, he got shot there. The bullet went through his wrist here. Boom. And my mom learned that stuff. And when this is right before my brother was born, she says, I'm going to name your brother after him. His name's going to be Elijah Cole. And wouldn't you know, when he came out, he had a fucking, mine disappeared. Well, he had a birthmark right in the spot where the guy was shot that he was named after. And I developed one too here.
Oh, cool.
After he was born. It's fading now, which is weird. But like just shit like that, you're like, okay, so he's clearly something's going on here. But yeah.
It's like stigmata.
Yep. It's fun. It's like when you learn about what they did, and I learned about his life. He died sadly. One of them, he got kicked by a horse and he died slowly. Fucking horribly at the end of his life, you know. But I do think about that. I'm the result of people fighting in that conflict. I mean,
yeah,
that's mind blowing when you really think about it. I mean, I have a relative named Bartholomew, Bartholomew Baker, and I think he was involved in the Revolutionary War. His grandson went and fought in the Civil War, and yeah. It's crazy, man, when you start picking apart your ancestors and what they've done and what they committed to. And I have a lot of preachers on the Baker line. A lot of them just became preachers, which makes sense because there's something weird ethereal about the Baker family. But yeah. I know. I think about the Civil War like that. And I mean, I was fascinated with it when I was a kid. And I would watch, I had this book set I still can't find to this day. And I would thumb through that book set every single day because I was fascinated by the uniforms, and the weaponry, and just that time. Just something about it felt, in a mysterious way, familiar. You know what I mean? Like you've done it before, and you're just reliving it. Always felt that way when I was a kid about the Civil War. Oh.
There's an Edward Baker that makes a lot of appearances in these books.
Interesting. That's such a common last name, you know.
Yeah.
How many Bakers have you met?
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe some of it's just because it was relatively recent, and
in human terms, yeah.
And not just the fact that it was so recent, but it was like in the land that we're living on, and
yeah,
and it really changed things forever.
Especially you live in the places where the battles actually had. Like for me in Michigan, there was no battles here.
Yeah,
so it's like I don't live in that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you live in certain areas, I can't imagine what it's like to live near a battlefield where 20,000 plus people have died in a fucking day. Like that's mind blowing. That's fucking mind blowing. You look at some of the
Yeah.
death tolls of Gettysburg or Antietam, or
Yeah.
it's like, holy shit, in one fucking day.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, it blows my fucking mind, man. To wit, like, what does that look like? You imagine, like, if you got a moment to say, hey, do you want to watch this happen, like bird's eye? And just imagine what that looks like, just to witness it. Because we see reenactments and stuff, and it's very close,
Yeah.
but what's that
You
like to
read numbers on a page, but
watch people get ripped apart by those fucking cannonballs and just,
yeah.
oh, those bullets, too. When you look at the way that, oh, dude, the shit that they would do to the body, it would just destroy everything that it impacted. Bones would shatter and break. There's so much force behind it. It's not so docile as bullets are now. That's fucking crazy.
Or like the size of the howitzer bullets, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
things are like
Well, that was the
big.
reason there was so many amputations in Civil War, even from just a musket ball, because of the damage was irreversible. Like, your leg's shattered beyond belief. We gotta cut it off. There's nothing to do about it. And those bullets were devastating. Fucking lead. Like, oh Lord, you get fucking lead poisoning. You know, like, it's crazy. I can't believe that. And it's like you're going in and you know it's that fucked, and you know it's gonna be this tough thing, and it's gonna be a slug. You're gonna be outside. You're gonna be covered in lice. You're just gonna be fucking miserable. There's gonna be times where you're starving for a while. There's gonna be times where your fucking shoes are just destroyed. And you're like, well, I guess I gotta walk with no fucking soles for a little bit. And your weapon that you're dealing with is finicky in the weather. And then you got all these other dudes that are fucking miserable around you at times. And there's camaraderie, I understand. But then you're like, okay, you ready to go fight some guys way over there, and then they're coming at you, and you have to trade fire very gentlemanly, like let them fire, and then we will return volley, and then it's just.
I wouldn't really like that in the Civil War. That's more American Revolution.
Well, they did trade fire. They didn't like. It wasn't as gentlemanly, but you still had to line up with a bunch of guys and shoot in that direction. And then,
well, yeah, but it wasn't like your turn.
No, it was. I'm just
There's
saying.
No warning like that.
No, I know. My point is, like, it was still, there's the vestige of that idea of that kind of warfare. I don't know if you want to call it romantic warfare or not, but it's still there. You know, it even was there in World War One, the beginning, and then they started kind of going like, oof, trench warfare. But like, I just can't fathom it. And it's like, what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? And like, I'm fighting for freedom, or I'm fighting for state rights, or whatever the individual is, and you're committing all that to it. It's mind blowing. It blows my mind.
Well, I think that's why discernment is so important. You know, if you look at it, all boils down to what does that mean for me now? You know, discernment's so important because you want to know, kind of like you were saying, you want to be able to be like, well, this is worth doing something about. This is not. This actually could affect something. I could actually do something about this. This I can't.
Yeah.
You know, it's like each time I go on Twitter, I have to remind myself, like, not much I can do about that. You know? Like, what's the ultimate goal, not just of you, but of humanity? Are we trying to get to Mars?
Yeah.
Some people. Man, I went to a little Super Bowl get together at a friend's house. And so the women were all inside, and the men were all outside. We were cooking outside, grilling, and so it's funny. It's almost like you read about the 1800s, 1700s. You had the men's parlor and the women's parlor. Right? The men's parlor, they would like smoke cigars and drink whiskey and play pool. And the women's parlor, they would like powder their faces and knit and stuff. So they're all watching the halftime show with I forget the guy, bunny guy, and then we're all watching like the American halftime show, whatever it's with Kid Rock and Turning Point America. That they specifically chose Bad Bunny to be the halftime performer because it's gonna piss people off.
Bad Bunny. What's that?
Yeah, so he's a rapper from Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay. Is that a U.S. territory? Like a U.S. territory?
Yeah, but he doesn't like the United States.
Oh, okay.
he performs only in Spanish. He refuses to sing. He didn't really sing. He refuses to perform any songs in English, which is whatever.
Right.
But so, and like he's known to like wear dresses and stuff on stage. So I'm like, of course they picked him because I saw exactly what was happening. It's like people on the right or the main NFL like core audience who is going to watch Super Bowl anyway. They get pissed off, and then the left says, well, they're pissed off because he's speaking Spanish, just like Trump and all those racists.
Yeah.
And then they hate
it's
him
inciting.
and it's like
inciting. Yeah.
And then you get everybody talking from each side and go back and forth on Twitter, and everybody ends up talking about fucking Super Bowl halftime show.
Yep. It's publicity, but it's also propaganda. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Right. But then it gives you an opportunity to say, look at these kind of people. This is why this needs to stop. Whatever our agenda is that created it. Yeah. It's there's so many dimensions to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know any Bad Bunny songs, but I heard coming in and out of the house a few of the songs on the TV. It sounded horrible. It sounded like dude was just like mumble rapping, and there was like a boring beat in the background.
Okay.
Regardless, and I saw it too. It's like it's not that people didn't mind that he speaks Spanish. They minded that it was. I'm sure there were some, but the bigger sentiment was like, why would you throw this guy out there at a football game?
Yeah. Why do we need to?
And that's why.
Well, most of the guys that I mean, let's be honest, at least around me, the guys that are watching football games are not the guys that are like 100% really care about that kind of shit. They're like, I don't give a fuck about the halftime show. I care about the fucking Patriots and the, Spring Eagles or whatever they are. Yeah.
Well, regardless, right? So I'm talking with the guys outside. We're talking about that, and we're all kind of in agreement that, like, I'm telling them what I just told you, and kind of in agreement. Like, there's some great music that's in Spanish, but like that ain't it. Like if you had Santana or something perform, everybody would love it. Somehow I got on the topic of Elon Musk, and one of the guys I was with just Elon's really the only hope we have for the future. I'm like, good lord, like, come on. He's like, no, Elon's really smart, I'm like, well, is he? I don't know the guy. He's the only one really trying to push us forward to get to Mars. I'm like, to do what?
I know. Why do we need to?
What the?
We're talking about a guy who launched a car into space just because he could. Like, look what I did.
To me, he's got all the trappings of a character in a superhero comic, a movie, where he wants, like, his intentions are really good, and then, but his, like, technology, like, it becomes too powerful, and he doesn't realize it, and then it ends up ruining him and everybody else, and it's like, oh, and then he becomes Two-Face, like, he's that kind of story, just, like, waiting to happen. But when I was younger, I remember being like, yeah, like, we have to get to Mars. There's only a finite number of resources on the Earth, and we're trashing the environment, and like that's just the next step is going to be, we conquered this planet,
a virus.
We're going to have to conquer another planet and just keep going.
Well, I got
to keep humanity going.
I have to. There's no other choice.
And Mission to Mars came out when I was in 7th grade. I thought it was a great move, man. My imagination started going. Can you take me higher? Or see the preview?
Nope.
It's still a fun movie. I like that kind. I like those. Like even Interstellar, I like. Where it's like you take something that could be scientifically possible, but it's not quite sci-fi. It doesn't go that far. But just the way I looked at it was the same way. Like, how is that progress? And do we really have a finite number of resources on the Earth? Because it seems like everything's renewable.
I always think, like, why? why? You know what I mean? Like, I'm always that guy. I'm like, why do we have to? Why do we think we need to? Why do we think we deserve to live that much? I don't get it.
Well, regardless of whether we think we deserve it, it. I just told you why, right? Or at least my reasoning when I was younger.
Yeah.
Think of the environment.
That's what I don't get.
If the population just keeps going up the way that it has, eventually we'll run out of room. We'll run out of resources. Now, this is all bullshit, by the way, but that's what I thought as a child. Because I was a child and I was foolish.
Yeah.
But I kept learning. And it's, I could see us going to Mars and then having it just be kind of a slow failure.
Either that or it kind of works slowly. Things eventually happen over a century, but then all of a sudden it becomes this repeatable thing that happens every fucking time. Like, well, we're our own independent place. And we're like, no, you're not. You're part of us. And then there's civil war will happen, or not civil war. A war will happen. A war. I don't know what that even means in the future. And it'll turn into a, now Mars is its own. Those are their own people. And then we go over just like America, and
it won't even get that far.
It could. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it will. I'm not predicting a future.
There's no sustainable
that we know of right now. Keep in mind,
no, there isn't.
That we know about right now. We didn't know about electricity. Kept thinking it was just something the gods did with the lightning bolt, but then all of a sudden we learned to harness it. Shit happens. We just never realize what things will be. You know, the air conditioner, dude. Like when that was invented, man, people were like, "Whoa, I can be cool in a hot environment. This is dope." Shit like that. You never know. There might be a technology that comes around that makes shit sustainable. I'm not talking the next 100 years. This could be 1,000 years from now, what I'm describing, if we even survive that long. Do I believe anything that I just said? No. But I'm still throwing it out there because it's fun.
No. So
but how do you know?
Because the logos won't allow it.
Who's the logos?
You can call it God, you can call it the universe. Beings more powerful than us.
You think they won't allow it?
No.
Why?
So if you look at planet Earth, right? We're put here specifically. Right? There's no, this is kind of a quarantine. So think about it like this. If you're playing The Sims, the characters can't jump over to somebody else's console on their own, right?
Mm.
You'd have to decide that. So I guess it is possible, but it wouldn't be our decision. Like it wouldn't be.
It's a feature.
Well, we're going to go conquer Mars, and then we set up this colony there, and we just populate Mars. It could happen, but only if an entity larger and more powerful than us were to decide that that's what they wanted.
Right.
And then the technology would come along. Oh, look at that. We can do it.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's how things go. You know?
Mm-hmm. I have no idea, but I'll disagree with you.
I hate when you try to explain things that are just beyond words, right? But
yeah,
or things just go. Like there's so many times I'll talk to Amy and I'm like, she's like, "Why?" It's like because it's got the same this as that does. Like I can't. It's not concept, right? It's almost like a storyline. It's like it's got the storyline that the guy who's
it's all connected.
Playing around and saying, "No, I'm not going to be part of the war. I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it." He finally gets convinced.
Yeah, I know.
I was living that story.
Yeah.
I guess I still am.
Trust me,
Dove is living that.
Yeah.
Right?
Trust me, I've been living that life of trying to get people to understand the shit that I'm saying that they are too, I'm not going to say blind, but just not wanting to see my whole life. And it's caused me to be a person that watches the world because I'm always flabbergasted. I'm like, why did you think that was going to work? Right? I learned I can't ever explain the shit. I mean, I try my videos as best as I fucking can. And it's like sometimes it falls flat. Other times people think it's profound, and I'm like, no, it wasn't. That was fucking elementary. Do you not understand? Like we were talking about that one Joseph Campbell quote. You know, the best things we talk about are the things we can't explain. You know, it's true. It's like you can't grasp these things. Like when you see a connection between fucking Walt Whitman and some sort of transcendent process that only you can identify. It's like, what did you mean by that? You know, but the interesting thing we can do is try, because that's like what this is. This language is like, if you ask me, say, what's God? I'm gonna be like, okay, I'll try with language, but that's not gonna really get any close to it. But maybe you could know what I'm getting at, and that's the third best thing we can talk about. I find that I can understand what you mean in your moment of having it, and it makes complete 100% sense to me. And I'm like, yeah, like obviously. But when I go off, if you ask me, okay, what do you believe? I'd be like, I don't believe really much anymore at this point in life, because what is belief besides anything that I thought I knew? Seemingly, of course. I'm only 35. I got years to grow. But right now, I'm like, so far my beliefs are things that I thought I knew. And then I realized, like, I guess I really don't, do I? I thought I did. And there's nothing wrong with that, because what it does, it makes you reach and expand and not just accept, I don't know, a reality, if you will. Whether the reality is controlled by beings that I can't comprehend, that could be like, you know, aliens, or they're godlike beings, or one, or a bunch, or I don't know. That's all the fucking air. And I would never say, like, you're wrong. I'd be like, I don't fucking know. You could be right. As far as I fucking know. You could be God and I'm talking to him. I don't even know anymore, you know?
Yeah.
It's,
But then there's great wisdom in being able to admit that.
yeah, you're not, because it's like, oh man, you're not allowing yourself to stay trapped. It's
Yeah.
staying open, and sometimes you can be foolishly open, and it can make you go mad, and that's when people lose sight, and then they go insane, like the Forgotten King, you know, Oapake will in my stories. You can go mad from this stuff because you're so open, you're so ethereal, and not
Oh
allowing
yeah.
yourself to be grounded that you're almost driven crazy. That can happen too. That's the negative side of it. But it's about finding that balance of saying, I won't know, I can't know, but I'm not going to lose myself in going off exploring the countless unknowns, picking shit up and going like, wait a minute, where the fuck am I now? I'm lost. That can happen to you as well. It's just finding this balance of, you know, what is divinity? What is consciousness? What is life? What is culture? What is our fucking psychology that we have? What about the neurons? Like, it's flabbergasting. And the reason that we all exist is because we're all separate individuals, as we could say, with their own identity. And this idea that we all play a part in this role subjectively, to just see it at a different angle, but that doesn't necessarily mean there's anyone more right than another. I could just show you these glasses, and then we could just keep talking about what you see and what I see, and then eventually I'm the only one that can put them on. So it's all this thing that we can
It's
explore.
nice. It's nice.
Yeah. The more I talk, the less I can breathe out of my nose. It's so crazy. But yeah, I don't know. It's ethereal, man. It's ethereal.
Yeah. So now I'm just kind of in this like limbo zone now because I start in 2 weeks from Monday. So like it's so hard to not be like, let me read up on the curriculums and like let me see what we're doing. Like
You said social studies and science. Is that what you said?
science.
What kind of science? Just general science,
Yeah. It's
not
like
not Earth or.
natural selection and alleles and stuff and the same crap they were teaching us.
I barely remember. I didn't really
You
go.
have a white rabbit and a brown rabbit. And what's the possibility of having four white rabbits? You know.
Do you have any, even if it's still ethereal, even if it's still kind of you know, not manifest fully? Do you have certain things within those curriculums that you're like, you know what, I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about this, or are you just going to walk in and just kind of not wing it, but like, I can't think of a good word besides wing it, you know, just kind of be in the moment, be in the moment.
So the way that I would kind of approach things when I was teaching English, you have the curriculum, right?
Yeah.
When I had a curriculum, the first 2 years. So you have to teach the like it's your job to teach
Right, of
this
course,
material.
of course.
And then they have lessons, and you have to kind of go by the lessons, like the lessons where I got. Now you can combine lessons if you need to. You know, this one's a little bit shorter, that one's a little bit shorter. I'll just put them together, and so if there was anything to tie in there, it would kind of make itself known to me as I went along.
Okay.
So one of the things that I always like to do, and that I think it's just a general, I think all teachers worth any salt would do, is relate it to the kids, you know, relate it to the students so that they can understand it on a conceptual level. So that's where you get, you know, we did one of the questions once, right? Like, what are you?
Yeah.
Um, or how do you know what you know? Right? They would all relate to something in those lessons. You know, chunk up and chunk down kind of things. You know, so you've heard of that?
Chunk up and chunk down?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay. So chunking down is separating things into little details and steps. Chunking up is like the bigger picture where everything's kind of connected. So you want to start chunking up and then break everything down.
Okay.
So usually at the beginning of class, I would have some sort of, you know, large question like that, loaded fucking question. I'd be like, why do we use words?
Yeah.
Right. And you get, you know, a few different responses, you know, to communicate, you know, because I don't know sign language or, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah, telepathy or yeah.
And then you break down into like, you can teach grammar off of that, right?
Yeah.
To communicate and then show how grammar shows how to effectively communicate so that you're not misunderstood. Or maybe then the answer to the first question ends up being, so we understand one another.
Right, there you
and
go.
then you show how grammar helps us all understand.
Okay, breaking it
Because
down.
without it, things can be easily misunderstood. And then you show examples and so on and so forth. And you
Zooming
chunk
in.
down to all these little things.
Yeah. I call that zooming in, but yeah, it's chunking down. Okay.
Yeah. So that's probably how it'll happen. There's some other concept in life that it relates to that's a bigger picture thing that does this like that does, and that'll be the opening question, and then we have a nice class discussion because the answers will be one of those things where there's no wrong answer, and then that relates to whatever the final point of the lesson is.
Okay. You have to keep me in touch with what you do because I'm curious. I really am. What happens? I know you're going to tell me anyway, so.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like more personal things, like what was the time someone was mad at you? What did you do? Right? Or what's the time that you got mad? Right? What'd you do about it?
Right.
And you can relate that to like science, talk about hormones that cause like anger or something, right? Or you can relate it to. I used that one. I'm saying that one because I went and got a folder out of my teacher box yesterday. And there were some old worksheets. I don't know why I still have them, but that was the first question. And it was all about like your attitude in the workplace, how to handle conflict.
Oh man.
But that's kind of the idea. So I don't know anything offhand where I'm like, and that's the thing. Like I don't want to. I know it's all like normie science and normie history, and I don't want to come in there and be like, well, I'm gonna tell you the real truth.
What you're learning is bullshit. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You were lied to your whole lives.
Yeah, I did that to my little brother. My mom was so, she said, you need to stop fucking telling him this shit that nothing matters. Because I would do that. I'm like, everything's a fucking lie. You're basically in a prison, blah, blah, blah. And he would just go to school with that shit as an elementary kid. Like, my brother said none of this matters. And I was like, you need to stop. You're ruining him. Just let him graduate.
Well, but I think it's like they could figure that out on their own.
Yeah, usually do.
If that's what they need to figure out.
How do you make shit matter?
My whole goal there is just to have them ask questions themselves and be like, or they can learn not everything is as it seems. Then that's kind of the goal. As long as they're looking for truth. You're right, buddy.
Yes.
It's because you're allergic to the truth, Andre.
I always have been. I have a sinus
You'll
infection.
see the Illuminati operating everything in your life.
It's the Eastern
10:33. It's about to be 10:33 right now.
It's 11:36 for me.
Your clock is very fast.
I just changed the battery and it's fine. I'm sure it's like because the battery might. I don't know how that shit works. It's digital. I thought about that.
I keep a lot of clocks. I keep a lot of clocks around the house and
I do. I have a lot of clocks.
Because otherwise, I'll lose track of time.
Yeah. I wear a wristwatch, brother. Not one of those fancy.
Yeah,
new
but
ones.
I can't. I have to consciously then look at my watch. If
Can
I
I ask?
keep clocks wherever I'm looking, then I always kind of know the time, and I don't have to keep track of time.
I like to lose time. I love it. I love losing myself.
But when you're doing something where you have to, or time depends on what you're doing,
like work,
like in teaching.
Yeah, then, I know.
Yeah, you have to keep a clock.
Well, my job's different. My job is I want to lose time so it goes by faster because I fucking hate my life.
Well, I used to do that.
Can I ask you a question that has kind of something to do with it, but it might not?
Sure.
When you wear a watch, what wrist do you wear it on?
Left.
Me too, because we're right-handed. I don't know why that is.
Because you go like this and it faces you.
Right, but I used to wear it right-handed, and I stopped because I thought, oh, if I'm right-handed, I shouldn't have it on my right hand because people think I'm weird. And I went to my left hand. I should have just kept it on my fucking right hand, my right wrist.
I guess it would face you too on this side, right?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. Yeah. Why? Why? I don't know why we do that.
Yeah, no, I think it's just if you're writing, you're resting your wrist, so it might mess up your writing.
Yeah, maybe.
That's why I always word on my left.
Ooh, let's talk about that. Let's talk about stuff. Sometimes when I get really sick, sometimes I feel like my head is in a sphere. Like I'm like, where am I? What's going on right now? And I like to have fun in there. Like, what's happening with this life? Please, I bet you're gonna fucking use this on the goddamn end now that as I'm talking right now. You're like, I'm gonna use it. This is perfect. But anyway, sometimes I've been sick lately, and it's like I've been just feeling like my head's in a cloud. When you got the sinuses all packed, and your head feels like woozy, and if that's a word, and like shit's kind of hard to remember when you get really sick. That's kind of where I'm at right now, and I'm sitting here going like, what am I doing right now? What are we talking about?
What happened just before you were sick? Didn't you take like a week off or something?
No.
I thought you did.
That was some time back. Nothing happened before that. I was fine. Everyone at work is getting sick, and but for me, my sickness is different as always.
No, when did you take the week off though? A couple weeks ago, you went back to work.
I don't remember. Maybe less than a month ago.
Our last meeting was.
It was right after January 16th was our inventory, and so I took the week after. So mid-January.
One thing that I noticed was if I had something, especially with teaching, like if I had to be there for something, I would often get sick after that thing was passed.
Yeah.
It's interesting to look at like what was going on right before you got sick.
It was a lot of high stress. I was getting ulcers and stuff, and then after the ulcers, then all of a sudden I started getting this sinusy stuff, and then sore throat, and then I'm just overexhausted, overexerted, as usual.
Yeah. It's almost like we're already sick.
Yeah.
And our body is but spiritually or emotionally, we're holding back. We're like, no, we can't get sick right now.
Yep.
You ain't. You're like, it's defending. And then finally you're like, oh, I'm done.
Yeah.
and then that protection goes away, and it's like,
Yeah, I know that's when
here
I
you go.
would get sick. Always on vacations because I'm off of work. You know,
Hmm.
I'd always get sick on vacations because my job, dude. I would love to do a GoPro and just show all day walking around on concrete. I can't remember, like they're just 8 hours straight. I'm just like fucking walking around. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I haven't even sat in 8 hours, you know. And then
No.
like the squatting, the bending, the lifting, the twisting, all this shit, and the rapid thinking. You're out there doing this, and someone's in the back room and like, I need you. What do we do about this? And then you try and do
No.
that, and then you got to do all this shit, and then everyone's a fucking retard, so you got to kind of do their job for them, and it's day in and day out, 4 a.m., 4 a.m., 4 a.m., you know, getting up. I fucking hate getting up at 4 a.m. And then it's for me, it turns into this. I'm so fucking exhausted. And at the same time, I'm trying to preserve my mental energy to remember my mythology shit and not cram any more of this useless work shit in there. And I'll go in my boss like, so, like, you want to hear what's going on now? This is what they want us to do. Now that at the end of the week, we need to scan every single hole that we have in the entire store, and then we need to have a discussion about it, every single item, why it wasn't there and why it was. And I'm sitting there like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, that's a lot of wasted energy. I'm trying to remember about Dove's story.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going like, what does a tree mean to Dove? So yeah, I think for me, I'm stretching myself so thin, and I wake up a lot when I sleep. I don't sleep very well. Every hour I wake up, I can't breathe out of my nose. It's always been that way, so I kind of suffocate a little bit when I wake up, and then it's just, oh, dude, I think it's just a culmination of a bunch of things like that just make it where I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm walking on concrete with not proper shoes, so impact, and then stress.
Doesn't sound very sustainable, Andre.
It is not.
Really not.
It's fucking hard, dude. And I've been doing it for about over 12 years now. But what else am I gonna do? I don't got a college degree. To somebody else. This is an outside thing. I'd have to sit there and
Mm-hmm.
manipulate them on a job interview. But I don't care about anything at all. I don't want to fucking do any job. I want to write and I want to do what I'm doing now, but I'm not going to get paid for that yet. So it's like, well, then why don't you go work at like a library or something? I don't fucking want to. Because same thing, I'll find a way to hate it. I mean, shit, I hated playing music, you know? Like when I look back, I'm like, it was
Yeah.
miserable. It's miserable. I'm a lazy guy. I want to lay down and do nothing all day. That's what I want to do. It's like the song Whiskey in a Jarro. All I want to do is lay in bed next to this woman. You know what I mean? Like that's what he says. Some men like fighting, some men like drinking. Me, I like sleeping. That's what the song says. I'm like, I can relate. That's all I want to do is sleep. As Yoda would say, forever sleep. And that's what I'm looking forward to. One time I was asked, it's like, you know, when you're done with your mythology, what's it going to be like? And I said, fucking peace. And hopefully I can die. Hopefully it's over. I can just fucking just be done with this fucking world. I am so fed up with it. And like, that's probably not a healthy. Are you saying that that's going to save you? I'm like, no, it's just, I can't wait to be over with this world. I'm so done with it. I've been done with it since a kid. And I've just had to slowly accept, you know, or see the duality of it, learn to embrace the negative, learn to know that it grows you, but also finding positive in life. And I'm tired. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm sick of it. I want to tap out of this game. I think that mindset does not help either. So just weary.
No, I'm all too familiar
Yeah.
with that mindset. And I think that's kind of why I took the time off. I'm interested in this, so I'm going to explore that. Right? Like, I'm interested in sitting down.
Oh, me too.
So I'm like, so I took the time off. And the whole time, I remember even telling you, like, I was like, nah, I'm not interested in working. I'm
Yeah.
like, what's it? And then you come out with the video. What's it going to take for me to get back out there? Maybe you wrote that wishing that you were Dove.
Yeah.
See what it takes for him to get up, and then I'll find something to keep going. When I told you I knew the answer when I asked you what was the breaking point for Dove?
Yeah, yeah.
Like what does man like what's man's breaking point? When you're like fuck the world,
Yeah.
I'm taking my ball and going home.
Yeah.
What is it that makes him participate again? Like, oh, the only way to go from that is death.
Yeah. That's
I've had that thought plenty of times. I'm like, I could die tomorrow and it'd be fine.
Right.
Which is a nice feeling, knowing that
It is.
I could die and then just like.
And it's not like you're asking or begging for it, but it's you're embracing the idea.
Like, it doesn't mean I even want. Like, I don't want to die.
I know. A lot of people in my past, people get hung up. Like, you want to hurt yourself? Like, no, it's no. But it's just like if something happened, I'm not gonna complain. Yeah, no, I know. I completely understand that. I think it's a normal aspect of our lives. It's how you create your own. I mean, we talk about the word identity, but it's how you create your own. What am I doing here? If I'm going to participate, what am I doing here? And I think you have to have that moment of like, well, I can't do these things. I can't be this job. I can't be that guy or whatever. And you have to say, okay, well, then you need to find something to continue sustaining in this world. You need to bring what you have. And like, I think that's what you possibly could have pulled from that realization that you had a week ago or whatever it was.
Yeah, I relinquished control.
Right.
Ultimately, once I said, Jesus, take the wheel.
Right.
No, but turned it over to God and said, look, what do you need me to do? Show me what to do and I'll do it.
Right. Yeah.
And then that's essentially where I was at. So I stopped caring about why I'm going to do something, what I'm going to do, like specifically.
I put a lot of pressure on myself with my writing, with the music, with my job, and all the things that I do. I have a self-pressure that is almost unmeetable, if that's a word. I've created this idea. I've created this idea that I can't, like, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I'm like, and I'm losing myself and I'm becoming miserable because I'm constantly trying to push something to its boundary, and I lost the joy in life because I'm always searching or when you see beyond the veil, and then it's like, well, now I have to do stuff, and I lost sight of finding any kind of joy in my life.
Either way, there's a reason why you've kept things how they are.
Yeah.
Which is fun. Like, don't judge yourself for that.
Yeah.
You are where you're at. So try to think of the story.
I always do, every single day.
Yeah.
Every fucking day.
This dude who's going to work and you're breaking your back, and like, you know where this goes.
Yeah.
There's a few options, but it all kind of goes the same place.
Yeah.
You can't do that forever.
It's true.
I wonder if it's a thing where no one will read your shit until you quit your job.
I've thought that too. I've fucking thought about that. That has been a quiet voice in my head for years. I get scared because I'm like, I got a mortgage, and then I don't want my wife getting resentful because she's the only one supporting us, and I don't know. I don't think it will lead down a good road, mentally and stuff. And I think it would take a lot of convincing, at least till we pay this mortgage off.
Garbage in, garbage out, man. Money's just a number on a screen.
It is.
It's more of a feeling than anything.
But I can't control how someone else feels about money,
Yeah, I know. Women, like, there's a whole lot they could do if you don't pay your credit card debt. Lower your credit score.
Yeah, I already have a house. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
but
that's the tough part with the relationship, is finding that. Yeah, I understand that. That's my trepidation. I don't want resentment to build and stuff like that. She's gonna watch this too.
If you think that that's the thing. If you think that it's gonna cause resentment, then it will.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna be waiting for it, and then as soon as you see a little sign of it, that could be anything.
Yeah.
You're gonna jump on it. So I wouldn't worry about that, especially if you have a pretty healthy relationship. She watches the show.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
No, but one thing when I took off, I kind of had that same idea. I was like, well, maybe I just need to devote all my attention towards music or writing or something. So I did the music thing with the mashups for long enough, and I had marginal success. Like, it certainly didn't happen quick and didn't happen a lot. And I don't think I was ready to really put everything I had into just making mashups.
Yeah.
So just make sure that if you go that route, that it's something where you're like all those worries and shit that you have about something, you just use that as like a driver, you know, to motivate you to keep on it.
Yeah.
It's so hard to motivate yourself sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Freeing up mental space and stuff. Yeah, I know. I definitely have thought about all this stuff for years. So I'm like, I need to walk away, you know, take that fucking big leap of faith and just say, let's do this. Let's devote 40 fucking hours in a week. You know, that would be nuts. Instead of only like, I can only do 2 hours in a week or 3 or 4 maybe. Like, let's get in there and have the energy and not be exhausted all the fucking time. Like, what's that feel like to wake up and you don't hurt all over? And you're not exhausted. Like, I don't know what that feels like. Everything cracks and creaks and breaks and shit. And I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. It hurts so bad. It's like, when I remember, like, there was my grandfather, well, he's my step-grandfather. And right before he died, he was riddled with cancer. He didn't even know about it. We didn't know. And he was full of cancer. And so, like, he was in so much pain. I remember watching him just get down. He's in his, like, late 60s. All he was getting on his knees to show someone a lawnmower. And the amount of pain he was in when he did that.
Yeah.
And I just was like, I feel that same way now. Like, it just hurts so much to get down there. And, like, my knees are screaming the whole time. And I have to fucking get up. Or my body will lock up and it'll hurt really bad. And I'm like, I think I know what he feels. I can understand that pain. And I'm sitting there going like, but you're 35, dude. It shouldn't hurt this much.
But what is pain? What's the point of pain?
Like, yeah, I know. I mean, it's keep pushing through it, and that's great and everything. But I'm tired of it. I'm tired of pushing through.
What purpose does pain serve in your body?
I don't know. To tell me not tell me not to do something.
Yeah.
Don't bend anymore. You gotta quit bending.
Well, no. This is the kind of pain that happens accumulated over years.
Yeah.
So it's probably sending you a message. Yo, go in a different direction.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, quit your job tomorrow or anything, but, look around at, like, what you could do, because nobody's ever aware of what they're actually capable of. I feel like that's the thing across the board.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever like, I'm exactly this powerful.
Yeah. That'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like a video game where you have stats and stuff. Like,
you can compare your stats. Like, well,
I got to grind a little bit more and get my stamina up.
Yeah.
So, look at what would be possible, or even with ChatGPT could give you ideas.
Yeah, I guess so.
They usually don't flesh them out very well, but
it's all up to you. Yeah, it does the legwork though.
They will give you ideas. Like I told it once, like a list of my skills, and I was like, monetize these skills.
Huh. Very interesting.
There's all shit I didn't want to do. So like, all right, never mind.
Yeah.
But and it might involve you doing something that maybe you don't mind doing for a little while.
Yeah.
While you keep going, or something part-time,
Right. Yeah, I don't need the benefits. My wife has them, so yeah, I can definitely do that. Yeah, I know. I got to do it. I'm dragging my feet. I got that guilt where it's like, yeah, but like I can't, leave these guys hanging. But at the same time, I've been busting my ass for years, and I get nothing for it besides, hey, good job, or not even that half the time. As long as I'm making around 20 an hour, which is what I make there.
Yeah. My new school, if you stay afterwards to plan with your master teacher, you get paid to stay afterwards and plan. And like do the stuff that I was doing at home last year for hours on my own without help. I just found that out yesterday. Like, so you never know like what you're going to find out once you put yourself into something. Like with your job, everything about what goes on.
Ugh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's so weird too, because so you're 35. Okay, I was 34. 34? 2022. 34. When I walked away from the police.
I think I'm 35. I might be 34.
What month were you born in?
June.
September?
June
June?
of 2000.
So you're not 35 yet.
I'm 91.
You're not 35 yet.
Oh, okay.
You're 34.
Oh, nice. Oh.
I said it years ago that you're always like, you're right behind wherever I was, like
Yeah.
in time, but you're like in the same age, going through the same stuff.
Guide me.
And then you're writing my life in a book. So
I got you, dude. Can you start paying me to do that? On a side note,
you pay me, I'll promote you in Substack.
We don't have to put this on, but I have been thinking we should try to like do like either one of the myth episodes together or just one of my normal episodes. Just work on it together. Like I'll have you edit it and see how different it is, or maybe a forgotten episode or something. This is down the line. This is when like, you know, we feel comfortable with that. I don't mind doing it. But I thought that'd be kind of cool to like collab on just a video. It doesn't even have to be one of those. It could just be a goofier video. It could be something just lighthearted, not that serious, and I don't know. See what that turns out.
Yeah, man.
Maybe you could be the video editor. And then one day I'll pay you. And then you'll pay me back. And then it'll be like nothing happened.
It's going to be all fucked up, and it's just going to be you being like, so Harrius likes butts.
I know. Come on. The hell, man. It works really hard on that. Yeah, I sent it already, so. Oh, okay.
Yeah, any ideas, man? Just always throw them my way, and I'll throw you some stuff too if I get it. I gotta write some more Substack stuff, but it's
I should get into
one of those
that.
things where it just kind of, when it hits me.
Yeah.
And now I'm in this weird limbo place, so I'm like, let's just hang out here till it's time.
I think we're building towards.
I hate that I do that.
We're building towards something that people in the future, like if they just would have thought about this earlier, then they fucking would have figured it out. I think we're meant to work together on something very big. And I think this is just the tip of the fucking iceberg of that. I really do.
That's the story that's every story. If they would have just thought about this earlier.
It's like when you listen back to the Beatles trying to construct a song, you're like, oh my God, guys, the melody's this. And they're sitting there like, I don't know what it should. It's like one of those things. I think that's where we're at. We're at a point where I think we can do. I don't know what that is. I'm like, same as you. It's under construction. But we're meant to work together on something.
Have you written the part after Dove reaches the breaking point?
Breaking point. What breaking point?
Where it's like he decides to do the thing.
It's gonna slowly happen through the memories, but no, I have not written that part.
Okay.
It will tell me what to write. Yeah, it's gonna come up.
No, because I'm like, I got the thought. I was like, okay, so like in Dove's life, he's got this like, he comes out of the chaos, right?
Yeah.
And it's sort of the end of the world, and he dies. And then he's waiting there, and his higher self is like, do something. He finally like hears the higher self, reaches the breaking point, right? So like, I got out of the life of chaos, and I was dead.
Yeah.
Right. These past few months.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, is the next thing gonna line up? Like, what's the next thing?
Probably.
But I'm not allowed to know the next thing.
Not until I write it. That's what you're claiming. Yeah.
It's all an allegory. No, I have to live it first, and then it somehow through the collective consciousness comes out as an allegory for you, and then I come back and talk to you, and then the circuit of grace is connected.
People are gonna like in the future, like obviously it's called this, and we're sitting there going like, but like, what are we doing? I don't understand what this all is. Yeah, we're on the cusp of it. We're on the cusp.
But now that I figured it out, the universe is gonna be like, nope,
not anymore.
Swerve.
So he's gonna dictate your life, and I'm like, and then one day he decided to be gay.
Yeah. Really won't let you see the future. That's what I learned from this too.
You gotta be humble about it.
Like, just show me, please show me.
No, I'm not gonna show you. I'm gonna.
And then I tried demanding. I was like, do it. Show me.
Remember it
didn't work.
Remember that dream I told you about where I met that deity? I went into this deep sacred cave, and I descended down into these many pathways and many areas to go, and there was shrines everywhere and votive candles, flower petals on the floor, and statues of all these beings. I don't know who they were. And we kept passing in, me and this unnamed person. And all of a sudden we got to this chamber, and it was a massive room, and it was like all along the walls were these hooded figures walking towards these doors at the end of the room. In the middle, it was a sheer drop to blackness, but there was a pedestal up in the middle of it, and there was a bridge that led to it, and there was a deity sitting there. And I walked up to the deity, and at the moment I was like, oh shit, I forgot my offering. And I ran back, and I looked at one of those little statues. I'm like, oh, I'll take and it was a dog. It was a golden dog. I'm like, I'll take this. And I walked up to the big being, and I placed it in front of him. I'm like, oh, there's your offering. And he's like, that was a very big mistake you just made there. And for that, I'm going to have to punish you. And he said, and your punishment will be, I'm going to make you void your bowels. And then I woke up, and hand to God, went to the bathroom, just liquid. I voided it, and then all of a sudden it was over. I was like, oh, take this shit seriously. Take this shit seriously.
Either that or you have to take a shit already. Your body subconsciously knew.
Yeah, isn't that weird? It can do that stuff too.
Well, we're at about 2 hours, so I think it's good for now.
Yeah. 1 hour 47, that's about normal. Yeah, what's that about normal?
What did we learn today?
Nothing. I learned that I'm a pair of glasses, dude. I'm like that. I am a cell phone.
It's very, very, very poignant, as always. All right. Yeah. Well, let me log off then. Next time.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
Good night, America.
Or whatever. See you, man.
All right. Peace out.
There he goes. Finally, right? Jeezers. Look at me. You know, Ooh, I have an idea. I'm gonna give you a little. No, I'm not. Or whatever. Why does my name keep changing at the bottom of the screen there? Who the fuck's American? Look that up if you get a chance. And tell me what you found out that it means. Let's type that name in, actually, right there at the bottom of the screen. If you get a chance, right there at the bottom of the screen there. And tell me what you found out if you get a chance. Let's type that name in, actually.
Look that
up. Well, what's new? I don't know. I think I'm finally realizing that life is kind of like a box of monkey videos. You never know which one you're going to get. I've been 13 different light bulbs. But I have been the wind, I have been the sky, I've been the stars, I've been the snow upon the ground. I have been the plucking of your neck. I have been the necklace around your guitar. I have been the wind coming from the end of your nipple. I have been glass shattering, wind. I have been the sound of your doorway shattering. I have been the sound of your nipple shattering. I have been the sweat upon your hair and the end of your brow shattering. I've been all of that and more.
And more. And more. And more. And more.
My point is, life is the sound of you walking into your parents' room while they're having sex. It's more than you want it to be, especially when you look at it. And when you look at it, maybe sometimes you might realize that's there and that's there. And you close the door and you open it again to see your parents having sex. Stay tuned. We'll see you right after this commercial break. See ya. Why don't you look that up too? I can still hear you.